It's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking SEC football, Georgia at Kentucky. If you want 15% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net, just use the promo code TREAT, T-R-E-A-T. The Bulldogs big favorites in this one, minus 14.5. The total is 42.5. Georgia 3-1 on the season, 2-2 against the number, while Kentucky 2-3. Both straight up and against the spread. Last meeting was a 21-0 win in favor of Georgia. We've got Craig Trapp joining us to talk this one. Craig, what stands out to you when you see these two teams line up on paper?
Well, it's really the Jekyll and Hyde of Kentucky. I mean, you expect Georgia to play maybe Alabama a little closer than they did, but I mean, it was close through about half, and then Alabama's just, they're just too much, and I think we're going to see that for most of the season. I mean, there's three clear-cut teams in college football: Alabama, Clemson, and it looks like Ohio State. Georgia looks like a cut below, but they could be that fourth team, and they got to win impressively from here on out. And facing a Kentucky team that struggles to score against a really good Georgia defense with a week off to mull that thing over, I think it's a big trouble for Kentucky.
Right. Terry Wilson entered the season as one of the quarterbacks in the SEC that kind of got a lot of hype because before he got hurt the year before, this Kentucky offense was pretty dynamic, but they also had Benny Snell the year before, so that probably helped him. But this offense looked terrible last week for Kentucky, only 10 points in a 20-10 loss to Missouri. And the fact that your offense is struggling going into the week against probably one of the best defenses in the SEC and Georgia, that's probably going to spell trouble, I think, for Kentucky. The X factor, I think, is going to be Joey Gatewood. This week they listed on the depth chart it's going to be Terry Wilson or Joey Gatewood at quarterback, which has been a change. Joey Gatewood is a transfer from Auburn, a dual threat guy who was unable to win that job over Bo Nix. So that looks like a problem to me. If you can't beat out Bo Nix, yeah, he's a legacy. But I still think it's going to be big issues for this UK offense against this Georgia defense.
Well, I think Georgia's defense this is going to be a statement game for them because they gave up 41 to Alabama. And I think they're going to get back to where they were against Auburn early in the year. That was early October, second game of the year for them. They only allowed 6 points to what I think an Auburn offense is probably very, very similar as far as ability-wise, maybe even more talented than Kentucky. And they only allowed 6 points, winning 27-6. So I'm going to be on Georgia minus the points here. I was shocked that the number started at 15 and went down to 14.5. I kind of expect that number to go back up into the 15s, but I don't care. I'm going to take them all the way up to 17. I think Georgia just is a statement game. Georgia needs to win and win impressively, and hopefully they can end up in the SEC championship game and maybe revenge that loss against Alabama.
Right, and kind of the same line of thinking for me, but I'm taking the over because the number's pretty low, 42.5, and I think Georgia, like you said, really needs a statement win in this one, and I think they cover the total probably by themselves in this one. I know they're a run-first offense, and they usually run the clock down a little conservative when it comes to their offense compared to some of the offenses in the SEC, but I do like an over, especially since they have allowed some points to some teams that aren't that great. 21 points to UT, 10 points to Arkansas, which, yeah, it's not a lot of points, but Arkansas is not that great. So I do like the over in this one just because the number's so low. And I think Georgia is going to have to prove something in this one, and I think they run the score up. Any other thoughts when it comes to this one?
I agree with that over. I think Georgia, when you have a week off and you come off a loss like they did to Alabama, you're going to pull out some stops here. And against Kentucky, they're good on defense, but they're not the elite level defense like we've seen, elite level talent like we've seen at Alabama. So I think they'll have a big bounce back game. Like you said, I think they score 40 by themselves. So I think the over probably a hit as well. But my top play is going to be laying the minus 14.5, 15, whichever you get it at. With Georgia here.
That's going to do it for our SEC football talk here on Picks and Parlays. Good stuff from Craig Trapp. Craig, thanks for joining us.